Well, we just have to find out how Ms. Spencer feels about it.
Growing up on a farm in Roten, Texas, it was at a very young age Brad Maule was bit by the acting bug.
Every Saturday, my parents would make my sisters, my two sisters and one brother, they would go to town. And so they were older than me. And my parents would make them take me with them. And I was little, like 9 years old, 10 years old. And they would drop me off at the one movie theater in the town as it opened. And then at 10 o'clock at night when it closed, they'd pick me back up.
I know that you feel betrayed and hurt right now, but
Brad Maule knew what it took to be a star. After graduating SFA, he had to be multi-talented and catch a little bit of luck.
So when I moved to Los Angeles, I already had a lot of the baby steps that people take where they have to be out there and then they try to get in a union and all that. I had already gotten all that stuff before I got out there. Really looking back on it, it took about 10 years. I was in the Serendipity Singers, a band that toured the country. I was doing guest star jobs on television. I was on Charlie's Angels, Three's Company, all of those kind of shows. But it wasn't until there was a show called American Movie Awards, and it was a year the nominated song was Arthur's theme from the movie Arthur, and Andy Gibb was supposed to be the featured person to sing that nominated song. And he was having some personal troubles and didn't show up during rehearsals the day of the performance. And so by accident, my agent was on the set. He told him, I've got a young actor who can do this.
It wasn't too long after that Brad Maule landed the biggest role of his career, playing Dr. Tony Jones on General Hospital.
and we will both be safe. And no one will ever hurt us again.
The next morning, I was back just being a regular guy, but it happened that the producer of General Hospital had seen the show that night, and they called me and started bringing me in to audition for the show.
22 years later, and now retired, Brad Maule is a proud SFA professor.
I just felt like there wasn't much future in my career. I didn't want to be sitting in Los Angeles out of a job. And I also wanted to be with my kids who had moved to Texas. So I just broke out and I said, you know, my life's not defined by one thing.
Brad Maule is a fine example of someone who both pursued and lived his dream. I'm Dylan Hensley with Nac Edition.
Jesus, it's time to go.